My first question for you, is what did you guys talk about just on air? Take this down, it's easier for me to talk. Uh, what did you guys talk about on air?
Basically, we were talking about the concept of Crime Stoppers. It's a relatively simplistic concept. Basically, individuals having information regarding the commission of a crime can convey that information anonymously to Crime Stoppers. And if that information leads to arrest or recovery of stolen property, the tipster becomes a candidate for cash reward of up to $1,000. One of the key components is the anonymity, particularly in the day that we're experiencing currently with the escalation in crime, particularly gun-related crime. There are people out there that know things, that have information. They saw something, but there's a hesitation often to come forward. We never wanted to deter anyone from going directly to law enforcement. But if there is that hesitation, be it fear of retaliation, be it not wanting their name in the media, being not wanting to testify in court, then we exist to take that information, still get that information to the appropriate law enforcement agency, yet guarantee the anonymity there. And as pointed out, if the information leads to arrest or recovery of stolen property, the tipster automatically becomes a candidate for a cash reward of up to $1,000. But I think we're finding the anonymity is a tremendous incentive in this day and age. It's unfortunate people often go out to the scene of a crime, maybe there'd be 10, 12 people standing there, and they go around and ask, do you know anything? And normally the answer is, no, I don't know anything, yet there are people that do, but they have that hesitation to coming forward. And if that's the case, we want them to know about Crime Stoppers, and they can still be helpful by conveying that information to us, yet maintaining the anonymity, and we in turn getting it to the appropriate law enforcement agency.
Yeah. So, I'm a photographer in the morning. I go out to all those scenes. I've talked to people that, hey, I kind of witnessed it. I've tried to get them to talk on air and they won't because they're scared, just like you said. And, obviously I don't pressure them. I don't make them feel bad for not because that's not my job.
Right. No. But it's a real concern.
Right.
It's a real hurdle for people. And I think most of us can identify with it. We want to be helpful up to a point. And that point being, I don't want my name known, but here's the information. And we exist to take that information, convey it to the appropriate law enforcement agency, but still maintaining that anonymity for the tipster. So that's where we've come into play. And I think this has become, really in the last 5 to 10 years, a much greater concern on the part of people. I think prior to that period, we had more people coming forward. But this, I think, fear of retaliation is a major stumbling block in preventing a lot of people from conveying helpful information to law enforcement. So we are really trying to beat the drums to let them know, hey, we exist to take that information and still get it to law enforcement so that it can be helpful in the resolution of crimes.
Yes, I know we do some stuff with Crime Stoppers and local police departments, stuff of that sort, and trying to get the word out about crimes and stuff of that sort. And some of these crimes are smaller, and it's like, hey, did you see it? And you're trying to reach out to someone who might have seen it, or some of them are as far as shootings. That I've talked to people, like I said, that have seen that stuff. And I don't know how many people actually know about you guys or whatever, but as far since I was a kid, I'd known about Crime Stoppers.
I think a lot of people have heard of Crime Stoppers, yet they may not know how we operate. And so I think that's our job, our challenge, to really get the word out. And that's where the media, and particularly WCIA, has been so helpful to us, getting the word out to various different parts of the community. I'm born and raised in Champaign, a townie, if you will. And it used to be we would have incidents, particularly the gun-related incidents, happen. But normally it was confined to certain areas of town and 2 a.m., whatever. Now it can happen anywhere in town. It can happen at 2 p.m., 2 a.m., whatever. No one is really immune from being a victim in this situation, this day and age. And so that also, I think, elevates the importance of getting the word out about Crime Stoppers.
And you mentioned, not everyone knows how you guys operate. How exactly do you guys operate?
Well, basically, there are 3 means by which individuals can convey information to us. Our phone line, 217-373-TIPS, or 373-8477, converting that to numbers. Our website, 373tips.com, or there's a free mobile app, P3 Tips. Either of those three methods, individuals can convey information to us. And again, I want to underscore, we've gone to great lengths, technologically and financially, to assure the anonymity. Basically, the information that comes in is electronically stripped of any contact with the individual that conveyed that information to us. There's no way in the world we can find out who that individual is that's coming forward with the information. If that information then does assist or lead to an arrest or recovery of stolen property, the tipster becomes a candidate for a cash reward of up to $1,000. Now, it's very interesting. Crime Stoppers pays on arrest. Most other reward programs pay on arrest and conviction. There's a tremendous difference because there may be a bona fide arrest, but it may never go to court, it may never be a conviction, or it may be a number of years before it actually goes to court. And if it's not successful, then there will be no payment. Whereas as long as it's a bona fide arrest, meets the constitutional threshold, then we will make a payment to that tipster. Recently, because of the escalation, particularly in gun-related crimes, we've initiated an illegal gun bounty program. And the thrust of that is that if an arrest is made based upon a felony crime involving an illegal weapon, an illegal gun, then the tipster automatically gets $1,000. It's not from 1 to 1,000, it's automatically $1,000. Because we're really trying to be proactive in addressing the escalation in gun-related crimes in Champaign County. So that is a new program, it's been going on now for 2 years. It's been very successful. We've made quite a few payments in that regard of $1,000. But again, if it's involving an illegal weapon, a felony crime, information comes in, leads to arrest, it's automatically $1,000 payment.
I'm going to turn the slide up just a little bit.
Sure.
Sorry. You still look good, but it looks a little
That's
better
fine.
now.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, I mean, with the uptick in just gun violence in general, in everything, it's safe to say you guys' goal is to get people, get those arrests, help police, right? How exactly do you guys communicate with police with the tips? Because, for me, that's kind of confusing to me. Do you guys go as Crime Stoppers, or do you, kind of go as yourself, or say this is an anonymous thing that someone did?
Well, basically, when the information comes in, and again, this is really handled by a third-party system, so we're not directly involved in that. Comes in, then the determination is made. Obviously, if it's something in the city of Champaign, it'd be the Champaign Police Department. Let's say it's Rantoul. We'll go to the Rantoul Police Department. Something in the county, we'll go to the Sheriff's Office. Determination is then made what law enforcement agency needs this information. And then in turn, it is conveyed to them. We actually have a law enforcement coordinator who's a non-voting member of our board. We're a totally civilian board. But he basically oversees that aspect of our organization as far as the conveyance, making sure it gets to the appropriate law enforcement agency within Champaign County. And as I said, he serves as a non-voting member of our board, but is tremendously helpful, and he is really our contact with law enforcement. So basically, again, we're a totally civilian board. Information comes in, it's conveyed by a third party to the appropriate law enforcement agency in conjunction with our law enforcement coordinator, who follows up on it and makes sure that the appropriate people secure that information.
Yeah, and then obviously, like you've mentioned several times, and at least me personally, it's been made very obvious that you guys are anonymous. You go to Crime Stoppers to stay anonymous, excuse me. How or what is the experience like for that person? You can set that on the table if you want.
Thanks.
Sorry. Now I remember the question I was going to ask. So, how does that help, or how many cases have you helped with, or roughly, anyways?
Well, we've been going since 1986, so we're celebrating our 35th anniversary, which I think in and of itself is a milestone because we're totally not-for-profit. And there are many wonderful not-for-profit groups around in the community, but quite a few of them actually have a paid staff. We have no paid staff whatsoever. Everyone that serves on our board is totally volunteer. We have no staff. We don't even have an office. So we've tried to keep the expenses to the bare minimum, and also everyone that does participate is definitely strongly committed. We're very pleased with our board. We feel it's very representative of Champaign County, the diversity throughout the county, occupationally, geographically, and otherwise. And that's been very important to us. But we have worked hard to build a strong organization over numerous decades, needless to say. And it's interesting because we've had resolved crimes as minor as vandalism crimes. One of the crimes that elicited the most information to us was a spray painting incident in southwest Champaign, city of Champaign, involving mailboxes being spray painted. Well, you think, well, on the scale thing, that's pretty minor. Well, if it's your mailbox, it's not so minor. And we were able to solve that all the way up to the point, the most heinous crime, homicides. And we solved numerous homicides. Probably the one that really put us on the map was back about 2 years after our inception, and it was a double homicide that occurred in city of Champaign near Centennial Park in southwest Champaign, and it was an individual that had killed two family members. The information, police knew he had done it, but they didn't know his whereabouts. And the best information they had is that he was on his way to Florida, where he had an estranged family living. Turns out we received a call within 36 hours of the commission of that crime, very specific, that if we go to a particular address, go into the basement, go to a particular room, you will find this individual. The SWAT team went out, went to the address, went in the basement, and were able to apprehend him. Now, would they have eventually found him? Yes, I'm sure. They knew who he was. But he's already committed 2 homicides. How many other crimes might he have committed? And their whole focus was on Florida. They didn't think he was still local. So that case, I think, really put us on the map. And really, law enforcement realized how helpful we could be. Obviously, that was a tremendously heinous crime, very unfortunate situation. But we were pleased to be involved in the resolution of that. But that was one of our early cases that I think really put us on the map in Champaign County. Stones is the guarantee of anonymity.